Here we go.
Okay. March 19th, I was in a bad horse accident. Broke my humerus. My ball of my shoulder was in my armpit. And the bone, the shaft, was going across the back of my rib, back here. Anyway, it was a pretty bad accident. They took me by ambulance, had surgery next day. They put a rod and screws in, kind of put it back together. Said I'd be fine, said I'd have complete use of my shoulder again. That was March 20th. I went for a follow-up. He went every 4 to 6 weeks. I went for a follow-up in June, and he said, "Oh, we got a problem." And I said, "What? What kind of a problem?" He said, "Your bones are breaking away from the screws holding the rod." And so he showed me the picture, and he was pointing out. It's kind of hard on the x-rays to see, but he was pointing out what he was seeing. And one of the screws had come completely through where it was supposed to and was going into the other bone. And he said, "That's the biggest problem we have." So anyway, I said, "Well, what do we do?" He said, "Got to have a second surgery. You're going to have a shoulder replacement." And I said, "Well, what made the screws break away?" Because I'm thinking, did you use too big of screws or what? He said, "Same thing turns your hair gray. You're old." I'm 70. I was 70 when I had the surgery. I'll be 70. Actually, I was 69. I'll be 70 in April. And so, kind of insulted me a little bit, you know. Yeah. And so, anyway, he wanted to schedule me for the next surgery first of the week. I went on a Thursday. He wanted it for Monday or Tuesday. And I said, "I want a second opinion." So I went to a doctor that does just shoulders. And he looked at it, and he looked at the x-rays. He said, "It's a mess. It's a total mess." So he said a shoulder replacement wasn't going to work because of all the broken bones and, you know, the fragments and stuff. He said, "You're going to have to do a reverse shoulder replacement because the ball doesn't have enough to even work with." So he scheduled me for July 1st for the surgery. I went in to see him on the day before he left for 2 weeks vacation. So I had to wait 2 weeks. He said, "You need it right now." But he said, "We'll take care of you the day I get back." And I said, "Okay." So July 1st, he came from the airport to the hospital and did my surgery. My first surgery was 2 hours. The second surgery was 6 hours. And he said it was a mess. And he said the bone had shifted, the rod had shifted because the bone didn't hold it, and the rod had gone through my deltoid muscle. It was just really bad. He said, "You got a hole that big in your deltoid muscle." He said, "It's going to take you a lot longer to heal than a person who's just had a shoulder replacement. So don't even compare with anybody else." I'm like, "Okay." And he said, deltoid muscle alone probably takes 6 months just to heal that hole. And you don't have a rotator cuff anymore because they pulled the deltoid muscle from back here all across. And so everything has to kind of regenerate and learn how to work. So anyway, I was going in for my appointments regularly, and everything was looking good, nothing was breaking away. But in the meantime, after I'd had the second surgery, I went and had a bone density test because I couldn't get over your bone just broke away from it. And I didn't want it to happen to this one. I don't want to go through this ever again. So anyway, I went and I had a bone density test, and it came back. I wasn't osteoporosis yet, which is the really bad one. I was osteopenia or whatever they call it, but the numbers that they give you, I was higher than the normal in it. So it wasn't going to be long I'd go into osteoporosis. So that's what made my decision to go have the stem cell. So I went in October to have a stem cell, and then in December I had my follow-up for my 6-month follow-up, and I met with the surgeon. In the interim, I was seeing the surgical assistant. I never saw the surgeon. And he had told me the day when he told me I needed the replacement, I said, "So what's that mean for my range of motion and stuff?" Because I had none. I mean, I couldn't even put on deodorant. I couldn't raise my arm like that. And he said, "I will call it a success if you can touch the top of your head." And with my long hair, I complained I couldn't do anything with my hair. I couldn't even put it in a ponytail. And let me tell you what, men do not know how to do ponytails. They can't do it. My husband tried, couldn't put it in a ponytail. So that was a big thing to me, was just to be able to get my hair in a ponytail. And he said, "I'll call it a success if you can do that." So I saw him in December for my follow-up. He looked at my x-rays. He said, everything looks great. Your bones are all healed. That was 3 months after my stem cell. I got those in October. In December I saw him. He said, your bones are all healed. Everything looks great. He said, even where it was so fragmented and we had to break up all those pieces, he said, it's all healed up. And then he said, I couldn't be happier. He said, it looks excellent. I'm like, great. And he goes, now the $1 million question. He said, how far can you raise your hand? And I went. And he said, oh my God. And his eyes got that big, and he said, I never dreamed you would ever have that range of motion, ever. He said, I can't believe you have that range of motion. Well, I'm a team roper. And one of my concerns was, am I going to be able to get my hand up high enough to swing a rope again and have that motion? I started swinging a rope again. I'm kind of lost some of my skill set, but I can swing a rope again. So I've been practicing and starting to get back to swinging the rope again. So, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that again, ever. I mean, not even remotely was that on my list, and now it's on my list again.
So literally that was 2 months. If it was October when you got your cells and you saw him in December, that's 2 months.
Yeah,
November,
I think
December.
It was like October 9th. I'm not sure the exact date, but it was the first part of
Yeah.
October. September was when I'd seen the physician's assistant, or the surgical assistant, and had x-rays taken again. And she said it was looking good, but I forgot this part. She said, you see this little white fuzzy area here? And I'm like, yeah, because I don't know what I'm looking at. She said, that's your bone starting to heal. So from July to September, it was just starting to heal. And then when I went in December, he said it was completely healed up.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.